Hey, Miles.
What's up? What's up?
A lot of people think that if they need to practice Chinese, they should probably go to China. But have you
Right?
ever thought about Mexico?
To practice Chinese? No, I have
Yeah,
not.
right. Like we were talking earlier before the stream, there's this little town called Mexicali right in the border,
Yeah.
which was basically built by the Chinese community, you know,
Wow.
and they have a long history there. And to this very day, there's a lot of, signs of Chinese heritage.
No kidding.
Yeah, and I suggested a video in which, I believe an American goes in there and tries to practice Chinese with the locals. And I haven't really seen it all, but I'm very curious to discover it with you to see how that goes.
All
Since
right.
your Chinese is native level, and you might be able to see, how the Chinese is spoken there.
Okay. Native level. Debatable at times, but all right. Let's go. All right. So y'all already know who is going to be the our golden boy in the language community. Good old Xiaoma going out there unabashedly making a fool of himself for you know for what he does, and I admire it. So
That
let's
takes
go.
guts.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it takes super guts.
Are we able to get the sound as well?
Oh, you're not getting it on your side?
Yeah, not on my side.
Oh shoot! I wonder if the stream is gonna pick it up anyway, because I definitely hear it, but you don't hear it at all.
Not on my side, but it's okay. We could provide a link in the description.
Sure, let's see how it goes. Sorry guys, this is a little new to us, so let's roll with it for now.
So he speaks Chinese and Spanish too.
Yeah, cool. And actually, this is gonna be a little difficult. We might have to restart because you can't hear a thing right now.
Not on my end, no.
Whew, strange. Because if you're invited, you would think that you'd be able to. Let me try it without headphones. How about now? Are you getting anything?
Not really, unfortunately.
Oh, but now I can't hear you. Sorry. This is a little bit complicated. Yeah, I think we're gonna have to restart.
That's
Oh,
fine.
sorry about that. Okay, can you speak now, Carlos? Sorry about that.
Okay, testing, testing.
Okay, now were you able to hear the stream at that point?
Unfortunately not. I can't hear the
How about now?
okay
Can you hear it?
now I can for some reason.
Well, yeah, because you're hearing it through my mic, I guess. I'm not sure if that'll
Okay.
be helpful or not.
That helps.
Okay. Let's give it a try. See how it goes. Okay.
Sure, no problem.
All right. Sorry, guys. Thanks for. See, this is growth. We could have
Yeah.
knocked that out earlier, but hey, screw it. Live stream. See what it takes to just kind of figure this out. All
In the
right.
future,
Restarting.
it's gonna be better in the future because we're learning.
Yeah, we're learning. All right. Cool.
So this week, I hopped the border into Mexico to experience something truly unique. The unlikely town of Mexicali, located literally in the middle of the desert, somehow contains the biggest Chinatown in all of Mexico. Chinese laborers originally came here in the 19th century to work on irrigation projects, and their descendants stayed on in Mexico. And today, the Chinese Mexican residents here speak perfect Spanish and quite often Chinese as well. The city is famous for its Chinese food and has more Chinese restaurants per capita than anywhere else in Mexico, and you'll see plenty of Chinese shops and supermarkets as well. So Ivan, a local chef, took me and some friends around to experience the local culture, and we got lots of chances to practice both Chinese and Spanish. Andale. Real quick, before we get back to the video, just
All right. Yeah. Real quick. So far, how you feeling about this?
Yeah, that's pretty interesting. Oh, you see, when you hover your cursor on that line, you can see the moments that peak. That's the moment that people rewatch over and over. So maybe we could just focus on those.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I didn't know that. Awesome. Yeah, let's do that. All right. Cool. Little geography lesson again. Let's keep going.
Yeah, we were speaking earlier about how it's important to learn geography, right?
Oh yeah, we were
Yeah.
because we've encountered some pretty interesting things in just how people perceive the world, especially language learners. And I was sharing a story with Carlos about how when I was a teacher in China, the local teachers that I had worked with couldn't point to any English-speaking country on a map. Like not the US, not Canada, not the UK, not
And
Australia.
these were teachers, mind you, right?
These were teachers, yeah. And so I was a little taken aback. And I did a test. It wasn't just one; it was all of them. And so it
Damn.
made me think. I was like, you wouldn't want to be a little bit curious about, the origin of the language that you're learning. So,
But to be fair, a lot of people in the United States or Mexico could also not pinpoint the right countries in a map. There's a lot of
Correct.
compilation videos about that. It's
Yeah.
just the times we live in, that's all.
Yeah. Cool. All right. Going on.
U.S. town of Calexico, right on the Mexican border, which also has lots of Chinese people as well.
¿Y quién habla español? ¿Él habla nomás habla
No,
español?
yo creo que él, yo creo que él le puede pedir por porque no, espera,
哇，hablo mandarín. Ay, no, mandarín.
廣東話你識唔識講？廣東話應該係識講 British 有時候。
Wow, he knows Cantonese as well. Didn't know that.
我係有人合作啦，我係有人合作啦。
哦，你哋我話喲。
Yeah.
I wonder if he asks permission to film before barging in. He probably says, "Oh, I'm gonna film myself, walking into your store, and then we're gonna talk." Who knows, right?
Yeah, I know, right? Like the brazenness. Like, for example, already, like my cringe meter is already pretty high. Like I'm
Already.
I'm at a 7 or an 8 right now. I'm just like, ugh, my man. Like, like for example, like my perception, and that's why I think this takes a lot of courage, because it's also like a little bit kind of like invasion of space is like, because for example, my perception is that he didn't ask, and like see how persistent he is. It's like, it's crazy. He's just like, I'm gonna speak to you in Cantonese. I'm not gonna focus on my Spanish that maybe he doesn't really know at this time, and he's just like, I don't care like about your comfort level or how you're responding to me. I'm gonna focus on what I'm trying to deliver to you. As to where a person like me, I would be swayed by the person's reaction and be like, okay, and then I would try to speak a little bad Spanish because the person is clearly not responding to my use of Chinese. Because I would go, okay, maybe this person's maybe he's from here and he can't really speak that much Chinese, and so I would be more attentive to that. And so right now, me seeing just how persistent and like kind of like not unwavering for me, I'm like, oh man, come on, man, like give him a break. Can't you tell they're trying to like shift? And Xiaoma don't care, and so that's why he has an audience, man, because he's able to like really firmly stick in that. And he also clearly has no ego. He doesn't care. He's just like, dude, this is my show. This is what's important to me, and this is what I'm going to highlight. And so, yeah, that was pretty crazy.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, sorry. I don't think he asks. I think he just shows up and starts blasting.
Okay, yeah, because I wonder about that sometimes.
Yeah. But I could be wrong. He could, but like just this setup, it seems like candid enough. It doesn't seem too set up. I feel like if it was set up, there'd be like more stiffness in the I guess the party being interviewed. So not him, the opposing party. So they're not stiff. So it seems genuine, like he just showed up.
But just imagine it was the other way around. I mean, I know it's hard to imagine, but imagine somebody from the middle of nowhere, China, comes to LA and then finds you in the street and says, "Oh, I'm going to film this foreigner and I'm going to speak English to him, and he's not going to believe I speak English, but then I'm going to speak English." And then like just keep saying,
that's what I'm saying, bro.
"How are you?" And then keeps filming you.
Yeah, keeps really like, right? Wouldn't you feel like a little freaking weird about that? Like, like, yo, dude, privacy, homie. Like, but it's okay. I mean, him along with, I guess, Lao Shu's the grandfather, rest in peace, bro. But they've created this entire genre because I guess at the end of the day, like my new mantra for like anything YouTube related is cringe is life, man. Cringe is what gets people interested, because what's cringy for me might just be entertaining and exciting for someone else. And I guess that's the case here.
That's right. Yes.
Yeah. Cool.
Perfecto.
Ya, con el sombrero habla español ya. Pero sin sombrero? No, now I know only English.
So the hat is his secret.
Wow, you speak very good Cantonese. Sí, mejor que yo hablar cantonés. ¿Dónde aprendiste español? Con la maestra. Entonces le tomó una foto con ellos.
Now, I'm not much of a Spanish speaker, but the cocinero, or the boss, he seems like native, like he's from there for sure, at least to my ears. And in this moment, just a little commentary on the accents, of the little bit of Spanish accents I've heard. This sounds so distinctly Mexican, it's like almost comical, like just the sharpness and the jumpiness of the tones, compared to other Spanish
That's right.
accents. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
The casual Mexican accent.
Yeah. Cool.
Él habla chino. ¿Habla chino? Mira. ¿Sí? ¿Qué fue la media? ¿Mandarín? Todos sabemos que是 YouTuber， 拍一些有关于中国话题，还有语言。对，以前在北京待过，09年的时候。09年就对，在北京就读书。对，北京语言。你很小的时候在那里读书了？没有很小的时候，就是10年前。10年前，我那时候上大学的时候，10年前的很小的，什么为什么在？
All right, cool. So this is also, I think, another interesting sequence because so the guy helped him introduce him, and it's like, oh, he speaks Chinese, and for me, like that would be a more preferable scenario.
Appropriate, yeah.
Yeah. I'm like, cool, great. Like a little bit of ease into it, and like get a more organic, personable. Like, hey, you're not just my exploited product. You're a human being who I'm respecting, and like we're gonna engage in this talk. I'm like, that's cool. But of course, you can't be waiting for perfect circumstances all the time. So I understand that too. So you just got to go out there and get it. But anyway.
Think about the clickbait value, though. Is it more exciting to say, I was introduced to a Chinese man and we had a conversation, or a Chinese man is shocked that I overheard him talking about me in Chinese?
I love it, man. Like really opening your eyes to self-promotion, man. Like it's unreal. It's just like
right.
Like, no, you got to get that shock value. You got to make it a little uncomfortable for your audience. That's what entices them to look. Like
exactly.
How many people in his audience are really people who start off like, who is this asshole, man? Like, who is this guy think he is, dude? Like, and they click and they go, oh wow, actually that's pretty cool. That's pretty interesting what he's able to do, like, and so forth and so on. So
because they're enticing the. I'm sorry.
Oh, sorry. Perdón.
I said they're enticing the hate watchers as well, because that counts as a view. Like Nikocado Avocado. Have you heard of him?
No.
Well, he's a guy that just gets fat on purpose and just eats all the time. He mukbangs, and people are all like, "That's not healthy. Like, what are you doing?" But he invites that type of viewership, even if they leave a dislike, because it's growing his audience. Then he says, "While you're here, like, get one of my merchandise shirts and this and that."
Yeah.
And he's one of the most successful, mukbang YouTube channels out there.
Genius, man. Yeah, see? I love my haters, man. Living by that mantra.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, dude. That's wise, man. Why not? I mean, I think, like, for example, like, I don't know if this, I think this is a fair comparison. Like isn't that the entire, like, Kardashian empire? They started off with people, like, being enticed by one thing, but then it led into mostly like hate culture. But then I guess, I don't know about, that's just the people who are around me and the ones that I immediately hear, like there's all this hyper criticism, like they do nothing for society, blah, 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 blah. But man, clearly a lot of people love them, man. They're doing pretty well by themselves.
There's people making a living off of that industry, people paying their bills, like the side workers and stuff because of her fame.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, you're right. sometimes it happens that way. It's like
Yeah.
any publicity is good publicity. That's an old Hollywood saying.
Yeah.
Like right now, what it reminds me of is the She-Hulk series, which
Yeah.
a lot of people are criticizing because of this or that. And I'm thinking, like, the more these channels criticize She-Hulk,
More
the
buzz.
more it's on people's minds.
Yep.
The more successful it will be, no matter how low quality you claim it is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So if you really don't like something, you just don't watch it, right?
Yeah, you ignore
But
it.
hate watch is a thing. That's I guess my little tangent. That's all.
Okay, cool. All right. Oh, and also, sorry, I actually want to make a brief comment on this gentleman's accent.
Oh yes,
So,
please.
Yeah, so seemingly right now, it's a pretty heavily accented like Mandarin, and it sounds like a Southern accent. I can't really pinpoint from where, but yeah, it's kind of interesting, the interaction. So he's doing definitely some. I mean, I don't know how good his listening is, but he's probably doing some strong guesswork as well, because some of the words he's using, like for a non-native speaker, it's like a little bit like slurred and kind of hard to catch. But I guess through context, you know what he's talking about.
And if I may ask, so his accent, it's strictly Beijing, right? Do you think that it's
Whose accent?
the older man's?
No,
So
it's not Beijing, is what I'm saying. It's Southern.
oh, southern. It's southern. Okay. So do you think that it's a sort of like a native Chinese accent or more of a diaspora type of accent? Because I don't
Let
know
me
how
catch
long
it.
he would.
Let's listen a little further.
Yeah.
我就是没有，这是当时因为我是在那个纽约长大的，然后
Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry. Oh my goodness, midstream. I'm so sorry.
What happened?
Oh my gosh, gotta prepare for that a little better. That was so annoying. I'm so sorry.
I'm still wondering what happened.
Oh, you're not hearing anything on your end?
I didn't hear too much. I don't know what's going on.
Oh, perfect. It was just like impossibly loud. Like I had trucks, cars with loud music, and then now a helicopter and like sirens.
For a second, I just
now?
thought you needed like I thought you were gonna go on a bathroom break or something. Like what happened all of a sudden?
No. Just like crazy loud, but I'm glad it's not being affected. It's not bleeding over there, because it was crazy a second ago.
Fortunately, modern microphones are designed to mute background noise as much as possible. So that anyway, that's all.
Let's continue. Sorry, let me try to catch what he's saying too.
带我去这个纽约的中国城，然后我就很看上了这个中国文化，就是觉得很有意思，然后就是开始就是学中文，爱上这个中国文化，所以我在上大学大一的时候，就是拿到了一个这个中国政府奖学金，被派到了这个北京语言大学。对，后来学。
Also, he speaks in a Beijing accent, right? The YouTuber.
Okay, I'm gonna say yes, in a sense of like, to the best of my understanding, any people outside Beijing are going to refer to this sort of standard Mandarin dialect that is also adds like scant R huayin, so that R sound in certain words,
Right.
Even though technically from an educational perspective, like a Chinese pedagogical, when you're trying to teach standard Mandarin,
Right.
These certain words with R huayin are considered standard Mandarin.
Right.
In some cases, not all. So they're going to refer to that as Beijing Hua, even though a native Beijing speaker who speaks actual Beijing Hua, that's not going to be the case, because that's actually a pretty solidly different dialect with its own set of like vocabulary,
Right.
Even though it is very, very close to standard Mandarin compared to like say Cantonese. Cantonese and standard Mandarin spoken are not the same language at all.
Right.
And so that's why there's like this sort of like confusion about what is Beijing dialect.
Right.
And so I would say that Xiaoma speaks a like educated, like standard
Formal,
dialect.
right?
Formal. Thank you. He
Yes.
speaks a formal with a formal accent. You know
What you would expect in a textbook, in other words,
Yeah.
because that's our only choice as foreigners.
Correct. And I say this, respectfully and as objectively as possible, he still has a pretty like marked American accent as well. So he doesn't
Right.
sound like strictly Chinese. He sounds like kind of like an American guy who studied Chinese really well.
I'm actually not surprised because his Spanish is also likewise.
Yeah.
You know, there's still an American accent in his Spanish, but it's not like we could expect perfection.
Yeah, no,
You
no,
know,
no, no. Yeah, by no means is it bad. It's just like you could just hear it. You know, I think it's usually, if I'm analyzing this correctly, it's in the vowels, like, you know, wider open vowels that aren't really present in Chinese. Chinese, you're going to have like a tighter, like smaller, like mouth space, if that makes sense. Yeah.
Right. The articulation.
Articulation, correct. I said mouth space. Hashtag mouth space. Anyway.
You
All right.
invented a new linguistic term.
Yeah,
You coined a new term.
Articulation. No, bro.
Yeah.
Mouth space. Cool. All right. Let's see. All right, fist bump. Aging wife.
Sale de chino ya mucho tiempo, por eso ya entiende, pero habla, habla.
His Spanish is pretty good.
但是以前你们住在墨西哥吗？
那以前我来的墨西哥，这边哪里是后来移民过来的美国。
Yeah, no, really, really unique accent on this guy. Like, for example, I wouldn't say he's from Guangdong, which is where your normal, what's the word? Like on average, you're gonna find someone from Guangdong in these diaspora communities. Like that's the first guess, you know. And then number 2 would be Fujian. So maybe Fujian, but can't really say because you know there's not too many features that of his accent that I'm able to pinpoint and go, oh, this is from there.
Right. Now I'm kind of tempted to move to Mexicali, even though like I really want to go to Guadalajara. It's like, damn it, why do I have choices?
I know at least you still be close to the US now, and you can just be like, I'm feeling kind of nostalgic. Let me hop over.
Yeah, that would make sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sí, pero es interesante porque aquí hay muchos chinos que hablan español perfecto y chino también, inglés. Yo, Nate, you tried this?
Well, I did.
So good. It's like a salty, sour, lemony pepper. Oh my god. Really good. So good. In Chinese, they're called spring rolls. Spring rolls. Yeah. Little crunch. Damn. This place is really good food.
Yeah.
You're not messing around here, guys. You gotta come here.
Then we hopped the border into Mexico, and our first stop, the mall.
I thought they were in Mexico.
Yeah.
I think that was probably an editing mistake, right?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. That's weird.
Okay. We were in Mexicali and then we went to Mexico. Mexicali is in Mexico. And then we were thinking about going to Baja, but there wasn't enough time.
Yeah, maybe that's what happened because that was goofy. Or maybe we heard it wrong. Yeah. But
who knows?
Let's just move
Yeah,
on.
we both heard the same thing wrong at the same time. Okay.
¿Usted cree que Mexicali tiene la más influencia de China de todo México? ¿O no?
My man's like, I don't know, bro. Why you bothering with this random question?
I'm just an average Joe. I'm not a, academic, I don't know what.
Yeah.
Demographic professional.
Cada tiempo mucho tanto, no sé.
¿Hablas chino?
Claro.
就像一个猛男吧。
Sí.
Sí, ¿qué es?
Es vitamina para más
Sí.
fuerte.
Wow.
El ejercicio.
¿有用吗？
Seguro.
Wow, he understands the Chinese, but he responds in Spanish.
Yeah, because, man, that's a phenomenon that I encounter often, especially with like diaspora or heritage speakers. They'll claim it real quick and be like, yeah, I speak it, I guess expecting you not to know. And so you're kind of like, oh yeah, hey, and it puts them on the spot and makes for kind of an awkward conversation. Like, oh, I'm sorry, I wasn't trying to put you on the spot or call you out, but you know, if you say yeah and with no qualifiers, I'm going to assume that you mean it.
But there's an interesting dynamic here too. It's like the YouTuber is trying to get content, but that salesman, he's really pushing his product. Yep, it works. Yep, I have this, I have that. You know, so they're both in this like little power struggle to see. Anyway, that's all that I
Yeah, no,
noticed.
I agree. It's fun.
会有什么样的这个会很好吗？
No así.
He's trying to tell him that his product works for you know what. I think.
Yeah, I kind. That's pretty funny.
哎，但是你是中国哪里人啊？你是中国哪里人啊？再来，北京。我老婆是。为什么不带她过来？要搞我的。
Damn, did you hear that?
Bro,
Why is she not here with you? Are you looking for another one?
Bro, they always be saying crazy stuff like that.
Clowning.
Anyway.
¿Cuál prefieres?
No entra ojo, no tiene boca nomás. Y no, aquí mira, si me da, no va al baño, no vuelve con tu hermano.
Sí. 带清凉的。
对呀。
清凉的。
Yeah, and like in the midst of this, and I'm actually, I admire this content even more. So that was reasonably like kind of like an L for Xiaoma as far as like Chinese content. Like he wasn't able to get, extract the
Too much
accent.
conversation.
Yeah, but it was good for the Spanish part, which is cool. And so I know that's not easy. Like he could reasonably feel a little embarrassed from that, but he just like, fuck it. Oh, sorry. Forget it. Like I'm moving on to the next thing, like doesn't get bogged down by it. And he just keeps pushing on, man. That's like crazy persistence.
Right. And I think you're more motivated to do that if you go all the way to another country in the middle of nowhere. You're like, I have to get the content. I invested all this time and money.
But at the same time, it is like it's more motivating in the sense of like you feel freer. Like I don't know these people, they don't know me. Like
right.
I'm a land of strangers, bro. Like I don't have to worry about them finding me again. Like if I embarrass myself here, it stays here.
They already think I'm a silly foreigner anyway, so I'm just gonna keep leaning on that.
Cool, yeah, like you're not so like emotionally invested into it. So
right.
That's tight.
I think that's the lady who won't speak Chinese, just Spanish.
Say what?
Oh, I remember there was a scene in the beginning of the video where he was trying to get one of those ladies to speak Chinese, but she would only speak Spanish.
Yeah,
I wonder if this is the scene or if it's somewhere else.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
有点多，我吃不了。不会，他可以帮我吃，对，他不会想丢的。啊，我是美国人，对，我是美国人，对。有以前呢，09年的时候，对，也不用吧，你们喝水吗？我 drink anything? No.
Nice. Okay, so yeah, actually, I would say that's actually a good place to get content is in these. In fact, for example, today's day in the local neighborhood, there's like one or two stores where like I don't go there for months or years at a time, and they still remember me. It's kind of crazy.
Wow.
They'll still speak to me in Chinese off the gun. So it's like, wow.
It's that one guy.
That one guy, yeah,
speaks Chinese.
Yeah, it's pretty weird.
5 years ago.
Yeah, no, for real, dude, it's crazy. It shocks me too. I'm like, oh dang, like y'all still know me? Like, wow,
That's how you know how unique that talent is.
I guess so. Like I'd assume by now Xiaoma should have ran through there already.
Yeah, imagine that.
And but he's in New York. I'm over here. But for sure,
LA.
I know there's more people who speak Chinese over here. So
yeah, and just curious, when it comes to that diaspora, the way that they speak Chinese, is it the way that somebody who lives in China would as well, or is this diaspora kind of different?
The speaker right now sounds to me like a recent immigrant to Mexico. Does not seem
Oh.
like they grew up there. And as she said in the video, she's only been there for a few years. So yeah, it sounds like straight from China. And sounds like a pretty like I mean, because it's the sound's kind of muffled for me, but it sounds like a pretty standard accent, so it doesn't sound like too regional to me. More or less, like maybe leaning southern, but
Oh, wow.
not distinctly from any province, but just like general southern Mandarin.
And I wonder, like, that I know you won't know the answer to this, but I wonder what motivated her to go specifically to Mexicali, and I wonder if they're thinking about going to the United States to San Gabriel Valley sometime in the future.
And probably, I do wonder myself these things too. And immediate opportunity by being introduced to, the situation is probably the case. Like they maybe had a friend of a friend or a family member that went there first, and are like, hey, it's chilling. It's probably right now a little easier to get there than the United States. And they're like, oh, if you come here first, you can go to the United States later, sort of thing,
Right.
So, yeah.
Especially during the Trump era, because I think there was some sort of trade conflict, tariffs and stuff like that. So China wasn't sending as many people as before.
Yeah.
And so maybe they said, all right, then we'll go to Canada and Mexico for now, kind
Probably.
of a thing.
Very plausible. I don't know in detail. The other thing that I think it is additionally to the whole tariff thing specifically with China, the United States overall, from what I understand, just became more strict towards immigration for everybody across the board. Like I have some friends that, like their spouse is from like Pakistan or India or somewhere over there, and like they've been having, or no. I'm sorry, not even from Canada. Even from just Canada, there's like the process for like spousal visas and other types of visas have just been slowed significantly, and like there's other like hurdles on them that didn't used to be there. So
I did not know that. Okay,
yeah.
That's interesting. Okay.
So, all right, let's keep. Yeah, actually, this is pretty good so far. Let's see where he goes from here. Oh, by the way,
so there's big.
I'm not too familiar with the exchange rate. Like, how much is 95 pesos? You think?
95 pesos. The exchange rate, as far as I know, it's that every dollar is worth around 20 pesos, more or less.
Wow. So that was like not even $5.
Yeah, that's what a lot of people love about going to Mexico. The food is really cheap.
Wow, that's amazing. The thing that throws my brain off is that the little decal sign that they use for pesos is the same as the dollar. So like my brain wants to treat it as a dollar. As for example, if you're traveling in Asia, they use that yen sign, and so your brain immediately knows, okay, this is a foreign currency. As we're walking around in Mexico, it'll throw me off where they have these huge numbers and it has the dollar sign, but it's
Let's
not.
have a little history lesson for like just 1 minute. So the Iberian Peninsula in Africa, right?
Yeah.
So according to mythology, that's where Hercules, stopped at the end of the world, and we have the Pillars of Hercules, so on and so forth.
Yeah.
So the Spanish adopted that symbol for the Spanish Empire, the two pillars. Then you wrap something around those two pillars, and all of a sudden you get what is the modern dollar sign, but it actually came from a coin called El Real de Ocho, which was the first global currency started by the Spanish Empire.
Wow.
In other words, Mexico had it first.
Deep. That's so deep. Yeah, I mean, it makes sense to me, even from an etymological point, because that transfer of the word itself, like dinar and then dinero. And I think that's what the word dollar is related to. I may be mistaken, but
it probably is. And remember, the 13 colonies were initially funded money-wise by the Spanish Empire's currency, which was El Real de Ocho. Sometimes they even called it the Mexican dollar, I believe. So in other words, we didn't copy the United States. The United States copied us when it comes to that.
Fascinating. Love it. And that's how far back it goes. That's insane.
Yes.
All right, moving on.
Big contrast between rich and poor here, and next Ivan took us to a literal Chinese palace in the middle of town.
That looks good.
Yeah, the terracotta.
Which if you ever get a chance in your life, you should definitely go check out the Terracotta Warriors in Xi'an.
Yeah, it must be an experience.
Oh yeah, it's great.
Y no tienes la pasta de noodle Chapon, ¿cuál es la que es? No, pero la que es noodle de arroz.
Oh, he's probably a vegan. Wow, how's her Chinese? Native level?
Native,
Like
northern.
native northern?
Like northern
Wow.
twang,
So a
yeah.
lot of these guys are recent immigrants then, huh?
Yeah, sounds like it. Yeah.
Wow.
有什么东西你墨西哥人会比较喜欢吃的？
墨西哥人比较喜欢的
Mexicans like rice. Who knew?
Right? Amazing.
哎，这是不是那什么煲仔饭？是这个。都是广东菜。¿Cuál es tu platillo favorito? Sí.
And their Spanish is amazing too.
Yeah. Wow.
I'm just blown away.
Yeah. It's amazing. And I have no doubt that this person also has like a somewhat of a command of English as well.
Oh yeah,
So,
yeah.
Yeah. That's fascinating. In fact, I've learned there's this fascinating global phenomenon where, English really is the exchange language. So like you don't like I had never thought about this before. For example, a Thai person moves to Japan and needs to learn Japanese. How do they teach that person Japanese?
In English.
In English. Yeah. Isn't that insane? Chinese people move to Thailand to teach Chinese. How do they teach it? In English.
Yeah.
It's unreal. Yeah.
I actually know people who they are part of the Korean diaspora in Mexico. And so their Korean is perfect, their Spanish is perfect, and because they go to international schools, their English is perfect as well. I would even argue, academically speaking, sometimes even better than a lot of Americans I've met.
No, I
It's
agree.
really amazing what I see nowadays.
Absolutely amazing. All right.
That's her video dish. All right. It's a video, right? 我有。这是我最喜欢吃的。
Little note about myself and my wife as well. We hate hot pot, and that's kind of one of the early things we learned about each other that made us fall in love. I was like, honey, we were made for each other. Can't stand hot pot, man. I don't know. It's just, I don't care what time of year it is. I don't care how cold or hot it is outside. I'm just like, I don't want to eat that, man.
Yeah, me and my friends, we were walking down Valley Boulevard, and I said, "Oh, right there it says hot pot. How's hot pot? How is that like?" Because I never had it. They're like, "Are you serious? What, you're joking? No."
Yeah.
I'm not Asian. I don't know about this stuff,
Yeah.
It's like they expect me to just know these things.
I
I'm
know,
not one
right?
of you.
I know. Like, give me a break, bro. Especially, and the worst one is like, so hot pot is supposed to be like a Sichuan specialty.
Mhm.
And like this idea that like it has to be insanely spicy and burn your face off. Like,
Oh, wow.
I like what's really the point in all that? And I got some Latino in me, so like, yeah, I'm used to spicy food, but this is like next
Ridiculous.
level, like ridiculous. Like this doesn't taste good, bro. It's just painful.
If it's gonna be spicy, it should at least taste good.
Yeah.
Right.
Wish. Wow. I have to say, of all the places in the world, this is a cool place. There's not many places like this. Yeah.
It's amazing how many places they went to eat.
He tried to dap him up, and he freaking like, oh my gosh, come on, Xiaoma. Like, I know you're awkward, my man, but you gotta dap your man up, bro. Like, what the fuck? Sorry, I'm joking around. Me, I'm an awkward person too. I'm not saying that like as a diss, but like, come on, man. Like, he left them hanging, bro. Like, you gotta catch that, bro. Like, I gotta catch that.
On that note, not on the awkwardness thing, but on the.
Watch, ready? Try to dap him up. Oh, okay, no, he did get him. My bad. That's my video, my connection. So he did get him. A second ago, it looked like he just left it up and left him down. I was like, come on, dude. So. Okay.
Hey, Myles.
Yeah.
So just a side note, and in comparison to the way you guys are dressed right now, I just noticed you guys have the same shirt.
Stop, bro. Even like same haircut and shit.
You're the LA Xiaoma.
Now you call me Dama.
Dama, there you go.
Dama goes out here and does stuff for real, dude. Yeah, no. And at the end of the day, if I even say like things that are lightly, jeering, I mean it with a loving heart, dude. Because
it's part of our culture. It's part of our culture. We do that all the time in the Hispanic culture. You're Hispanic as well, except that it's kind of merciless when Mexicans do it. So like right now, you add an apology to it, so there must be some Canadian in you. Yeah. But like in the Mexican style, like there's no apology. There's just brute force.
Yeah.
And then you're supposed to laugh along, even though you're the victim.
No, yeah, definitely. And same thing also, just as a Black person, bro, like roasting is just part of the love language,
Exactly, so, yes.
Anyway, all right, cool. Dope. Let's stop here. I think this is a good spot. We covered a lot of ground. And maybe I'm sure we'll be talking about Xiaoma more because he's definitely out there doing it. So
oh yeah, can I just add one note too?
Yeah.
You see that guy with the Dragon Ball shirt?
Yeah.
So I've seen him wear that same shirt throughout this video, which makes me think that all of this was filmed in one day, which means that they've gone out to eat how many times already? Quite a few already.
Yeah, right.
They're on an eating spree.
Yeah. Hey, dude, and I love look at this Tecate Ballena, bro. Like, oh man, in a Chinese restaurant, sign me up, bro. Let's go tomorrow.
There you go.
That's cool, man. Mexicali is only about 4 hours from here, so that would be definitely worth the trip.
Tempting, for sure.
Yeah. All right, cool, man. Well, thanks. This was a good one and a learning experience, and I hope we shape it up and sharpen it up from here.
Yeah. It was fun, and let's see what we'll cover next time.
Cool. All right. Well, have a great day. I appreciate you.
Likewise. Take care.
Yeah.